Okay, so I'm learning more things about sugar because I knew sugar was in a lot of things, like so many ridiculous things, but there's sugar in Funyuns, there's sugar in, well, spicy sweet chili Doritos, I guess that makes sense because it says sweet in the name. There's sugar in garden salsa sun chips. There's sugar in pretzels. Like, these are the things that you think of as not sweet, right? When you go to buy them. Oh my gosh. So, I got myself some road snacks. These are just sea salt chips, yellow corn, sunflower oil, and sea salt. And I just don't really like Lay's potato chips, or like, I wonder if there's sugar in those, honestly. And I just happened by the chocolate, of course, because the chips are right by the chocolate. I was like, let me just check. Okay, I got this 100% cocoa unsweetened chocolate, just pure cocoa flavor. I've tried the 90% and it's a bit strong for me, so I'm sure this is not gonna be my favorite. But who knows, maybe since I've been off sugar for almost 2 weeks for the most part. I only missed a day when I went to visit my grandma. And of course you can't turn down a hot fudge sundae when grandma says, here you go, I served it for you. Oh, I also had those garden salsa chips one day, and I realized after the fact that they have sugar in them. Anyways, maybe I will partially kind of sort of like this 100% cocoa since I have not been eating sweet stuff. And last but not least, this is a road trip. I slept 5.5 hours last night. I need me a Celsius. These are what I always drink on the road. Sometimes I only need like half of it, and it gets, you know. Did you know there's non-fizzy Celsius? I've accidentally bought the non-fizzy Celsius a few times, and it was very disappointing, like extremely disappointing. It just tastes weird, like flat and wrong. This doesn't have sugar in it, but it has sucralose, which is sweet, and oh, that's it. I thought it was going to have so many different types of sweet stuff, but I only see sucralose. Or is guarana seed extract and green tea extract also sugar, but covered up in a different form? I'm not really sure. All right, 7-hour road trip coming up. Turkeys! That was just about the hardest, like 20-30 minutes of driving I have ever experienced in my life. I did stop to put my camera going because I was like, I need to capture some of this because it was, but by the time I stopped, I think I was already coming out on the other side of all the whiteouts and just insane weather. So I did not capture like the peak worst of what I saw, but man, we got a lot of powder in the last couple days, or in the last 24 hours. So like a layer of powder, very easily moved by the wind, and today is super windy. So high snowbanks on the sides of the road, plus powder, plus wind equals complete whiteout at moments. And when a car passes you, absolute white blank, cannot see a thing. Ugh, so every time I saw a car coming up, which you only get notice once they're, I don't know, 100 feet from you. I'm not very good at that long of distances, so I don't know how far really, maybe 50 feet. And then all of a sudden you just have to try to slam on your brakes without slamming too hard, because if you slam too hard, you're gonna go out of control because the roads are slippery. Holy man. And then just go as slow as you possibly can during that slight whiteout. And then the sun is starting to peek through the clouds. So I put my sunglasses on because, you know, when you look at the sun and you get this little blind spot in your vision? I keep going across the, oh man. I kept going on the rumble strip because the roads are so white I can't see where the lines are. I'm just trying to stay more or less between the ditch, between the two snowbanks. And half the time I didn't even know if I was on the right side rumble strip or the left side rumble strip. Oh man. So I have like half blinded because the sun is making me, reflecting off the white is so bright. Oh my gosh. I thought that bad conditions was going to be at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But thankfully it was only like 30 minutes maybe. Oh, I'm so glad that's over. The roads still are not the greatest, but at least the whiteout conditions are no longer, and the sun is starting to shine in a way that isn't super blinding. So, wow. Anyway, the sun covering the, what are they called? Evergreens is just gorgeous. Did I say I love snow yet? I just love snow. I love the winter wonderland. I love the snow globe. I love the sun shining on the snow, except when it's super blinding. Sometimes I just feel the need to explain my filming problems and choices and things because like when I'm driving, I set up my camera when I stop, and I'm not trying to be crazy and super unsafe with my filming. That's why, and I always want to say, well, I wanted to film this thing, but I couldn't get it because of XYZ. Sometimes I'm driving and I don't want to just do all this stuff when I'm driving, or like when I was in the whiteouts, I had to focus all of my attention on the road. I couldn't get shots because I was focusing on the road, obviously. And then like sometimes when I'm walking or doing stuff, I'm with my kids and I don't want them to be on camera, so I'm not going to film certain things. And yeah, just like so many things that I want to explain at times, but I'm not going to do that all the time. Just, you guys don't need to know like all these excuses and random things, because it's about the story, right? It's not about what didn't happen and what I couldn't do. And I think I just have to accept that I have limitations because of the choices and boundaries that I have, and it just is what it is. One of those things that I was thinking about is that every time I go on a trip, I wish I could film like nice little B-roll of packing, zipping the suitcase and whatever, but it's just not realistic for me and my lifestyle, because the way I pack is just like super fast and I don't have time I choose not to take the time to film it because it takes so much longer. I'm trying to integrate the realization and the being comfortable and okay with not filming the things that just don't work for me to film. It's like if I were to choose to be vegan, then I wouldn't be annoyed and frustrated and angry all the time because I'm not eating meat, right? It's like I'm putting my own boundaries on myself for a reason. And I think that in limiting myself with, specifically in the filming area, it forces me to become more creative in other ways. And maybe I don't want to be filming the same types of sequences as everybody else, and it's good that I don't. I want my content to be different, so if I'm forced based on my boundary and my decision to not film certain things in certain ways, and I have to do it other ways, I think the thing is, like, I imagine a certain sequence because I liked how somebody else did it and I want to do it the same way, but since I'm deciding not to, I have to find another way to do it. Does that make sense? Hopefully that made some sort of sense. I know I've said this before, I'm sure I'll say it again, but something about driving always just makes my gears in my brain churn and turn and ideate, and I just really enjoy it, and my brain just goes off on all kinds of tangents and thinks about all kinds of things when I'm driving. So I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts in this video. I hope the footage isn't too crazy shaky maybe it will be horrible, and maybe the audio will be horrible too. Maybe I'll just scrap this whole video, who knows? I am just extremely grateful and thankful that the roads got so much better so quickly, and I have several hours ahead of me. One last thing I forgot to do before I end this video. Oh, it's wrapped in a different type of wrapping than a normal. It says the flavor profile delivers a strong aromatic cocoa taste complemented by a perfect balance of acidity, bitterness, and fresh green notes. It says we recommend that you progressively develop your palate through our range of high cocoa content chocolate bars starting with 70%, then 85, and then 90. So this is 100. Whoo! Yeah, you're not gonna like it. Holy cow! Oh my goodness. You're not gonna like it at all. Oof. Oh my. Oh. Woo. It literally tastes like pressed cocoa powder. If you've ever eaten cocoa powder, oh my word. I can't eat this. Whew. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. That's disappointing. My chips are very, oh my goodness. My chips were kind of disappointing, but they're fine because they're crunchy, but whew, I will not be eating this unless I cut it up and mix it with something or something. Oh my goodness. I will see you tomorrow.